Have you ever wondered what made the Mongols, a nomadic people from the vast, unforgiving steppes of Central Asia, one of the most fearsome and successful military forces in history? How did they manage to conquer a territory larger than the Roman Empire, stretching from the Pacific Ocean to the heart of Europe? It wasn't just brute force. The answer lies in a combination of brilliant strategy, revolutionary tactics, and a way of life that turned every man into a hardened warrior from birth. Let's ride back in time and uncover the secrets behind the unstoppable Mongol war machine. First, let's talk about the foundation of their power. The Mongol horsemen. For a Mongol, a horse wasn't just transportation, it was an extension of their own body. They learned to ride almost as soon as they could walk, becoming master equestrians. This gave them unparalleled mobility on the battlefield. While European knights were weighed down by heavy armor and relied on organized charges, the Mongol cavalry was light, fast, and incredibly agile. They could cover vast distances at astonishing speeds, living off the land and their herds, which meant they didn't need the slow-moving supply trains that bogged down other armies. This mobility allowed them to choose when and where to fight, always keeping their enemies off balance. Their primary weapon was the Mongol composite bow. This wasn't just any bow. It was a marvel of engineering, made from layers of horn, wood, and sinew, laminated together. This design gave it incredible power and range, capable of piercing armor from a distance. The Mongol warrior could fire this bow with deadly accuracy from horseback, even while galloping at full speed. Imagine facing a storm of arrows raining down on you from an enemy you can't even reach. This was the terrifying reality for armies that faced the Mongols. They would swarm their opponents, firing wave after wave of arrows, weakening and disorganizing them before ever engaging in close combat. But their archery skills were just one part of a larger, brilliant tactical system. Genghis Khan, the visionary leader who united the Mongol tribes, was also a military genius. One of their most famous and devastating tactics was the feigned retreat. The Mongols would pretend to be defeated, breaking ranks and fleeing. Their overconfident enemies, sensing victory, would break formation and give chase. This was the trap. Once the enemy was stretched out and disorganized, the fleeing Mongols would suddenly turn around, often joined by hidden reserves, and annihilate the now vulnerable pursuers. They used this tactic time and time again with lethal success. It preyed on the psychology of their opponents, turning their confidence into a fatal weakness. It was a masterclass in battlefield manipulation. Another key to their success was psychological warfare. The Mongols understood that fear could be a more powerful weapon than any sword or arrow. Before they even arrived at a city, tales of their ferocity would precede them. They cultivated a reputation for being merciless. If a city resisted, it would face utter devastation. But if a city surrendered without a fight, its inhabitants were often spared and incorporated into the empire. This created a powerful incentive for surrender. They would use spies and propaganda to spread terror and dissent within enemy ranks, often causing cities to fall without a single arrow being fired. They fought a mental battle as much as a physical one. Furthermore, the Mongols were incredibly adaptive. When they encountered new challenges, like the fortified cities of China and Persia, they didn't just give up. They learned. They captured engineers and artisans from the lands they conquered and forced them to build sophisticated siege weapons like trebuchets, catapults, and battering rams. In a short time, the once nomadic warriors became masters of siege warfare, capable of bringing down the mightiest walls. This ability to learn, adapt, and incorporate new technologies and strategies from their enemies made them an ever and constantly improving military force. They were not stuck in their ways. They were pragmatic survivors who took the best of what they found and used it to their advantage. Finally, it all comes back to their leader, Genghis Khan. He didn't just unite the tribes. He gave them a purpose and a strict code of law known as the Yasa. This code promoted discipline, loyalty, and meritocracy. Under Genghis Khan, promotions were based on skill and bravery, not on noble birth. This meant that the most capable individuals rose to positions of command, ensuring the Mongol army was led by the best of the best. This created a sense of unity and shared purpose that was unbreakable. Every soldier knew they were part of something larger than themselves, fighting not just for plunder, but for the glory of the Mongol Empire. So, the unstoppable nature of the Mongols wasn't a single factor. It was a perfect storm of unparalleled horsemanship, superior weaponry, brilliant and disciplined tactics, masterful psychological warfare, a remarkable ability to adapt, and the unifying vision of a once-in-a-generation leader. They were more than just warriors. They were the most advanced and effective military system of their time. They changed the course of history, and their legacy reminds us that victory in battle is won not just with strength, but with speed, strategy, and a will of iron. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the past. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into history. Let us know in the comments what other historical topics you'd like us to explore. Until next time, stay curious.